Okay guys, here's the next installment of my NAPCO build. I know a lot of guys are also wondering what to do about tanks, extra tanks, moving their tank from the front to the back, taking the tank out of the cab. This is basically what I've done. This is a Blazer fuel tank that I purchased online from Coleman's Surplus. I don't know if they have any left or not, but basically it's just a, what is it, a 73 to 87 Chevy Blazer tank. And basically I modified, or I made the brackets up so it would fit back here. And as you see, if you guys are familiar with advanced design frames, you can see the diagonal parts right here, which is part of the emergency brake assembly and the cross member. You see the emergency brake bar right there. And basically what I did is I welded up a bracket, cross member type deal, right here, and welded it to those two diagonal bars. And I put my tank in the front next to the cab, basically for a weight distribution type of any issues. A lot of people would rather put them in the back part between these cross members. Actually, there's not this cross member right here is one I put in, but they like to put it in the back of the air, behind the axle in the frame right here. What I'm going to do right here, as you see, my tires are off the truck and they're sitting in the back of the truck right now. Right underneath this area, I'm going to put a modern cable actuated spare tire hanger, and I'm going to put one of these tires under the frame in this area, and it'll fit really well. That's pretty amazing. These are 38-inch tires. Anyway, what I did is also, let me go into the back here. And if you can see, that cross member is also my shock mount, the upper shock mount. And I just went off the axle, and that's an HO72 axle. And I fabricated up the bottom shock mounts and welded them in right next to the spring perches. And then I used that top cross member is a piece of square, I think it's 2-inch by 2-inch square tubing, thick wall tubing. And then I used the end that I didn't use and I cut it in little triangular pieces, and I made those center pieces so I could mount the tops of the shock absorbers in that area right there. So basically that's what I did. Also, this whole area in the back here, you can probably see, is boxed. Both inner frame rails are boxed the entire way with 1/4-inch plate. I made it super strong with 1/4-inch plate because it's 4-wheel drive. And I wanted to really have a lot of strength in there. So basically what I've done is I've built the Blazer tank in this front part right here. As I told you before, I put this cross member in right here. All it is a piece of strapping, basically. It's I think it's like 16th inch thick, maybe 3/32 thick. And the strapping that I use is, I think, 2-inch by 16th inch. I don't know, I can get real close here, and you can see it's fairly thick. I wanted it to be substantial so the tank wouldn't fall out. And basically, and then I also made little tabs on the rear cross member that, here, let me try to zoom in on this side. I made little tabs so the straps would bolt right onto it. So it's all completely removable also if I wanted to do that, or in maintenance or of any sort. So basically what I had to do to make this tank fit is I took the stock sending unit out of it. I fabricated up this, I had to make a circular piece of sheet metal then actually this is a aftermarket for an Advanced Design Series truck sending unit and pickup tube, and I adapted it to fit directly into the top of the tank. Basically, it was fairly simple. I just heated up the tank. It was a brand new tank, so I wasn't worried about any gasoline fumes or anything. I heated up the part that was in there. I don't remember what it looked like, but it had little tabs on it so you could put the sending unit in the tank. All I did was I took a torch and heated it up, and it's just soldered in, so I just popped that one out. Then I made this little donut-shaped sheet metal piece that soldered back in, drilled the holes for this sending unit and pickup tube, and it welded right, or it soldered right in place, and then I just bolted in the pickup tube, and it's just about perfect as far as height goes for the float on the sending unit. So it worked out really well. Another thing I had to do was I had to take the filler tube and the vent tube. They were actually coming off of the tank directly this direction, straight off the tank. And I believe this tank, this is the aft of the tank in the original configuration, and this is the forward of the tank. What I did is I made it sideways, and so now this is the aft of the tank, and this is the forward of the tank in how I've done it. So what I did is I went diagonal, I desoldered these tubes, because it's just regular solder, and then I pivoted them to make them at a 45, and then I resoldered them back together. Also soldered this tab on so both the tubes would be secure to get with each other. And then I just used standard tubing to mount everything, to secure, connect everything up. And then also, as you can see, the pickup tube is right here that goes forward. And then what I did is I used a standard Advanced Design Chevy filler neck. It's just a standard Advanced Design filler neck, and I also Adel clamped it to the frame so everything is secure. I also Adel clamped the tube that goes forward to the fuel pump to the frame so everything is secure. And basically what I wanted to do was I wanted to make it look like a stock Advanced Design Chevy truck, and I believe their 48 and earlier had the tank under the bed. So they actually have a filler neck right here on the tank. So I wanted to make it look like it was supposed to be that way. So now I have a filler neck on the bottom of the bed right here coming out. Plus, I still retain my original tank that's in the cab. So now I have dual tanks. And also what I've done, you can't see it, I'll just tell you, I've got a tank switching solenoid underneath that's mounted to the transmission transfer case cross member skid plate assembly that I made. And I mounted that tank switching solenoid to it also. So what I'm going to be able to do, I'm going to have to come off of the sending unit. I still have one terminal there that you see that's not connected to anything. And then I have my ground terminal connected, and it's connected to the frame right here, this wire. And so when I'm finished, I will connect up that fuel level sender directly to a switch that I have in the cab, and also the fuel sender to the same switch that's also the switch that switches the solenoid from the forward tank to the aft tank and vice versa. That same switch will also switch the forward sending unit to the aft sending unit. So whichever position I have that switch in, it will read correctly to that tank. So basically, hopefully that gives you guys an idea of how to go about putting a tank in the rear part of your truck. I'm sure there's other tanks that fit, and I know there's aftermarket tanks that do, but this Blazer tank from a 73 to 87 Chevrolet full-size Blazer fit perfectly for my application. So I'm sure that, and I do believe that I've seen this same tank installed in the back part next to that rear cross member in other applications. Other guys have done it. So, also here's another view. You can see that I've boxed that entire side of the frame. So both sides of the frame are boxed with 1/4 inch plate. So that's another view of what you can see there. Anyway, so I hope this helps out guys putting in their extra fuel tanks or taking the tank out from the cab to put it into the back of the truck. Anyway, hope it helped, and on to the next project.